We are at the Valley of Elah, where David slew Goliath.
This is so cool. How many years? And we've never been here. After so many years, we're finally here.
Archaeologists have identified the valley and the mountains upon which the Philistines and the Israelites encamped.
We are where it's believed the Israelites camped, on this hill. And across is where the Philistines camped. And David and Goliath would have fought somewhere in the middle.
And they have excavated in this area 3 ancient cities that are mentioned in this biblical account.
I mean, they've been excavating this for years and they found so many cool things here. It's gonna blow your mind away. I mean, it made world news, blew everybody's mind.
So today we're going to visit this valley and envision how the battle array looked like. We're going to find the stream where David could have picked the 5 smooth stones.
Oh, that's perfect, look at that.
And we're going to try and answer the questions that we always have.
So you're staying right here and I'm gonna go down there and be the Goliath. We'll see if you can hear me.
How could the Israelites hear Goliath if there is a valley in between them?
I'm way past the water. There will be no Israelites here, only the Philistines. Let's see if she hears me. I doubt it, but let's see.
We're just trying to test when Goliath would come out and shout and defy the God of Israel. How did the people hear him?
Choose a man for yourself and let him come down.
And how could David sling a stone so accurately and deadly?
So we've built this DIY slingshot. It's very simple to build. It's made out of duct tape and just 2 strings. So let's give it a try. We've never used a slingshot before. Whoa! Did you see that? Look how far it went!
This was the coolest thing ever.
And on top of that all, we're going to share with you a hidden message that was recently discovered in the verses of this biblical account.
Goliath, he was wearing scales, right? He's this big giant guy with scales and everybody's fearing him. It's like a serpent.
Amazing.
It's amazing. It's
how the Bible connects.
Yeah.
So join us as we go on this incredible adventure.
So we've been driving for an hour and a half from Nazareth and we're going to be entering the Valley of Elah any moment now from the Philistine side, from the northwest side. This is exactly the route that the Philistine would have taken. It's exciting. We're going to see it any moment now. It should be right behind this corner. Whoa, look at that! This is the valley.
We're entering it.
This is so cool. How many years? And we've never been here. After so many years, we're finally here.
Yeah.
Look at it. What a beautiful valley. This is it. This is the Valley of Elah.
The Hebrew word Elah means a terebinth tree. So this valley is called the Valley of the Terebinth. It is most likely named that way after the large and shady terebinth trees, which can be seen growing abundantly in this valley.
Look at this valley. Oh, it's awesome. So cool. So it all happened right here. This is one of the most historic battles in human history, and you must have heard about it. But just in case you didn't, and to refresh your memories, here's a quick 60-second recap.
About 3,000 years ago, the Philistines had gathered together at the Valley of Elah to war against Israel. During the standoff, a giant Philistine warrior named Goliath called Israel to send their best man to fight him and to resolve the war in a man-versus-man battle, so the loser will serve the winner.
The Israelites were so terrified that no one dared to stand up against the nearly 9-foot-tall giant. But after 40 days, a young shepherd from Bethlehem named David came to the military camp to bring food for his brothers. And when he heard the Philistine's voice and saw that there was no one willing to fight him, David volunteered to do it himself.
So he picked up 5 smooth stones from the river, went up to Goliath and said,
"You come to me with a sword, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts."
And with the sling of the first stone, he killed the giant warrior and then cut off his head.
And just like that, the young shepherd from Bethlehem secured the victory for Israel.
However, the Philistines did not keep their promise to become the servants of Israel if Goliath lost. Instead, they fled, and Israel chased them from the gates of Sha'araim all the way to Ekron.
So to start our journey, we're going to Kirbat Kayafa, which is believed to be the Sha'araim that is mentioned in this biblical account.
So we're looking for the entrance to Kirbat Kayafa, which would be a good place to start. We'll get a good iceberg view of the valley, and that's the side that is associated with Sha'araim, and could really be a good starting point for us to explore what is the actual place where the battle happened. And there it is, I think. This is the entrance right here with a burned and exploded car.
The dirt roads this year had been damaged by the heavy rains.
I know, can we drive this?
I don't know.
This looks,
So it can be a great challenge for a 4x2 car to get up to the top of the hill where Kirbat Kayafa is located.
I think we can definitely make it, and it just looks bad from here, but once I walk it, there's the actual path, and then it gets all smooth. It's just this, probably where the water went. Gonna give it a try. Oh, it's very ditchy.
I think I'm gonna close my eye.
All right. Whoa, 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 whoa. There you go. There we go.
Even though we were able to make it through the first ditch, the road did not get any easier on the way up. However, with Rhoda's help, we were able to pass the broken sections and drive up as close as possible to Kirbat Kayafa.
So that's it, we can't go any further. So we park right here and we walk it up. I already see the ancient stones. Do you see the ancient stones?
Yeah.
Look at this, it's like a gate stuff.
That is a gate.
Yo, and then there's a wall right there. That's so cool. All right, let's go take a look at Sha'araim. Look at the view over here. It's like we're coming up. There it is, there's the gate. I can see the gate. All we have to do is just get up. This is so cool. This is the city gate. This is the gate of the city. That's where the elders would sit. That's where they would dispute things. That's where they would judge things. So cool.
Look, looks like these were stairs of some sort, right? I mean, they're leveled.
There's 3,000-year-old chiseled steps, and we're walking on them. The steps that led to the city gate. Unbelievable.
By the way, you were reading yesterday and you did the research, most of it. What are some of the things that they found here?
It is so unbelievable, okay? It's gonna blow your mind away.
Okay.
I mean, they've been excavating this for years, and the stuff they found here blew everybody's mind. I mean, not just your regular, typical excavation stuff. They found here an ostrakhan.
What is an ostrakhan?
They found an ostrakhan.
Ostrakhan.
What is ostrakhan? I'm trying to remember what it was.
Ostrakhan.
What is ostrakhan?
An ostrakhan is a piece of broken pottery that has writing scratched into it. In a way, they're like our modern-day sticky notes, but made of broken pottery.
Is that the thing with the Hebrew language on it?
Yes,
Oh,
the
that is
oldest
so cool.
shard, which was used as like a paper note, like
Yeah.
a memo.
In 2008, during the excavations at this site, led by Professor Yosef Garfinkel and Sar Ganor, an ostrakhan was found with an inscription in what seemed to be a form of ancient Hebrew. After further examinations by the University of Haifa, an incredible discovery was made that sent shockwaves across the world of archaeology. The 5 lines of ancient script on the ostrakhan appear to be the oldest Hebrew script ever found. Dating to the 10th century BC, this inscription is about 1,000 years older than the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah. And they could identify for sure words on it, which is like, one of them is king, one of them, I forgot what it was.
Unlike others, the words in this ostrakhan were not scratched into it. Instead, someone used ink. So after 3,000 years, the words faded and posed a challenge to decipher the text. But eventually, the experts at the University of Haifa were able to do it. Their findings confirm that the language is indeed ancient Hebrew, and that 8 words out of this text are exclusively biblical.
There's a second gate. There's a second gate. There it is. Look at, and it has those chambers as well. Besides the Ostrakhan and a mountain of other incredible findings, the archaeologists were able to uncover 2 city gates at this site, a very unique and uncommon feature.
From what I read, I understood that it's not common to have 2 gates in a city in Judah at the time of David. So when they excavated this site and they found 2 gates, that was a big deal. It's like, what's going on here? And it fits the narrative of the city that is called Sha'araim, which is 2 gates. So that's pretty cool.
In the account of the battle between David and Goliath, 1 Samuel 17 mentions the city of Sha'araim. Translated from Hebrew, Sha'araim means 2 gates. And since it is not common to have 2 city gates in the 10th century BC, historians believe this is a descriptive name of a fortress that had 2 gates that provided easy access to both sides of the mountain.
This is just another cool evidence to the account of David and Goliath that there is a place called Sha'araim. It does have 2 gates, and it's right by the Valley of Elah. It's so cool.
Now that we have identified Sha'araim and understand where the Israelites have encamped, we can peek over the valley and look for the place where the Philistines gathered and where David and Goliath might have fought.
There it is!
So incredible! What a view!
Wow!
We can see everything, the whole Valley of Elah. Okay, I got goosebumps just thinking what transpired here. Can you imagine thousands upon thousands of Philistines right across there?
Yeah.
I mean, chanting.
Wow.
So cool. Okay, this is definitely a plausible location. Everything just checks out. Sha'araim, you got Sukkot right there, Azekah right there, and the Philistines would be right over those hills, and the Israelites would be here. Okay, we're so excited. Now we need to come down and make sense out of all of this.
Yeah.
To help us place the events in their proper location, we have called our friend and pastor Charlie Garrett from the Superior Word Church in Sarasota, who had been studying this biblical account in detail and examining each Hebrew word for the past 5 weeks.
Do you think this would be fitting the account?
Oh, why not? I mean, you got that big empty spot in the middle where a battle would take place, hills on both sides where they would be encamped, so it perfectly fits the description.
This is incredible. I got goosebumps again just thinking this is where it all took place. Thank you so much for the help.
Love you guys.
Love you.
too.
Bye. So Charlie says this fits the biblical narrative and he believes that this could be the spot. There is a Nahal down there, a river, and there is a ridge which would separate Philistines and the Israelites. So we're gonna go down there and check if this could be the spot where they fought. I'm excited. Let's go. So we went around the valley and now we are approaching the dirt road that
Will lead us to the stream.
yes,
Right?
yes, that's what we saw right here. Whoa.
Be careful.
Ooh. 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 Wow. Okay, this is it. We're in the middle of the valley right now. We're actually crossing the valley.
They could have been standing right here for
There it
as much
is.
as we know it. There it is.
There it is. Let's go and explore.
Yep. Ooh, it's hot.
Wow, this is so exciting. Can you imagine this is where David could have picked up his stone, the 5 smooth stones?
I see plenty of smooth stones down there.
Yeah. Wow, this is the river.
Look how green it is. Probably because there's water underneath.
This is awesome. It's the beginning of August and it's still green here. It means water runs here throughout the spring and winter time, and it's
Yeah.
enough to sustain this vegetation throughout the summer. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. All right, so let's go into the stream and check out if we can find some smooth rocks. Wow.
Do you think this is where David would have stooped down and picked up a few stones?
This has gotta be. I mean, look at them.
Right?
There's so many. This is where the water runs, right here. And you can see that some of the earth is still like more brown, more moist, and
Yeah.
there's still vegetation growing here, which means this is exactly where the water runs in the wintertime, in the springtime, which is most likely the time when they actually attacked or when they went to battle.
In 2 Samuel chapter 11, the Bible mentions that it was the spring of the year when kings would go out to battle. Considering Israel's climate, this makes perfect sense. The summer can get extremely hot, autumn is the time to collect the harvest and prepare provisions for the winter, and the winter can get very rainy and relatively cold, making springtime to be the best option for war.
So it's very likely that when the Philistines came here, it was during springtime and the water would still be here. And it could be pretty bad because that's the majority of the stream comes here after winter. And it's plenty of water here, which makes it so much more difficult to cross, to attack, to engage in war in this particular area.
But in this particular valley, springtime might not have been the best idea because the river would have been full of water, making this area very muddy and hard to cross. This would put the army who dared to attack first at a great disadvantage.
And this makes the biblical account so much more understandable. Think about it. If this is the river and it was water here, the first military, the first army to attack would be at a disadvantage. They would have to cross the river, and by the time they cross the river, they would have to climb and attack. The Israelites who would be on the mountain right there, and the archers would be right there at the top shooting at you. You're at disadvantage. So the first army to attack is a disadvantage. This explains why neither army attacked each other for 40 days, and instead chose a one-on-one fight to resolve the war. So you've got Philistines on the one side, the Israelites on the other side of the mountain, and neither wants to attack, and so going man versus man made a lot of sense. And now that we've answered our first question, next we're going to pick up a few smooth stones from the riverbed and check if David's slingshot was a worthy weapon of war. So we've built this DIY slingshot. It's very simple to build. It's made out of duct tape and just 2 strings. One string has a thing for your finger and the other one is just release. So let's give it a try. We've never used a slingshot before, and it's gonna be a great test. And I'm gonna launch it over there. If I can at least get the direction right, that's a success. That works. Where is it?
It's there.
Where?
There, it landed.
I have no idea when I released it.
It just went up and went into like a U over there.
Oh my gosh, that looks so scary. I have no idea it's gonna land on me. All right, one more. Whoa! Did you see that? Look how far it went and so straight.
Do you think you would have killed a giant?
Oh, very possibly. Like a giant sheep. This thing goes on top and then you swing it and release it when it's above your head.
Okay.
All right, give it a try. You nailed it in the first attempt. That's insane. Yo!
That was good.
If I can replicate that, it means I'm getting more accurate. Let's try.
Okay.
Deadly blow! Wah!
No.
All right, one more time. You ready?
Ready.
There we go.
Wow, that was your best.
It's the same direction every time and it goes directly to that can of Sprite.
That was pretty close too.
Hey, your stone looks like a heart.
With love.
Okay, so what I've learned from this is that 10 throws and I'm able to aim always at the right direction and then release it at the right time. It's not bad for somebody who's never done it before. Imagine I had a whole day if I would be shepherding sheep all day like David did. And what else do I have to do but to try and aim with a slingshot and practice and improve my aim? It's totally plausible. This is incredible. I'd never assumed that I'll be able to do it after only 10 tries.
Good job, babe.
Now that we've tried it, this sling has certainly proved to be a real weapon. And David wasn't the only one who knew how to use it, as the Bible mentions a group of Israelite men who could sling a stone at a hair and not miss. So now that we have confirmed the deadliness of this weapon, our last goal for the day is to do the Goliath voice test. So I always wondered, how could Goliath's voice be carried and how could the Israelites hear him if there's a valley in between them? and that's exactly what we're gonna test right now. So Rhoda's gonna go up to the mountain, and I'm gonna be Goliath screaming from across the river.
This is so steep.
It is. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. Okay. And we're gonna see if Rhoda will be able to hear me or not. I'm really looking forward to it. Are you excited? There we go. Come on. All right, we made it. So we're gonna stay right here. You represent the Israelites. And I'm gonna go down there.
Okay.
And be Goliath and see if you can hear me. Right.
Let's go ahead.
All right.
Be careful, be
Yeah.
careful. Easy, easy, easy.
All right, just need to keep going. Just gonna cross the river right here. I'm almost there. Okay, so now let's see if Rhoda can hear me. Let's see if David can hear me. Let's see if the Israelites can hear me. Hello! Hello!
I hear you.
I hear you too!
I hear you perfectly.
Insane. I'm gonna go farther. Let's check.
He's going further now.
I'm going even farther because she can still hear me. Okay. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
That is so cool! Choose a man for yourself! Let him come down and fight me!
That's pretty cool. I hear him. Look how he's much further now.
Let him come down and fight me!
That's how much I can hear him.
Okay, she could still hear me. Not even raise my voice that much. Let's go even farther. I mean, I'm in the middle of the valley now. Why have you come up?
Wow. That is incredible.
Okay, I'm just gonna cross the field, literally. This is insane. I'm just gonna cross the field.
Okay. It would be impossible to hear him from there.
All right, this is the last test. I'm like almost up across the field. Let's give this a try. Choose for yourself a man. Let him come down and fight me. Choose for yourself a man.
Oh my goodness. Choose for yourself a man.
I hear you.
That is incredible.
Absolutely unbelievable. I have goosebumps.
This is so incredible that he is so far down there.
I'm all the way across the field and she can hear me.
But I hear him and there's that echo effect.
This is insane. I can hear her. That means they could even reply to Goliath. They could hear David and Saul fight. Wow. Where's your champion? If I can hear you, then you can hear me.
Be careful. I heard everything.
That was so cool.
It is incredible, isn't it?
I had goosebumps because I didn't believe it's gonna work
And
out.
the Israelites, this is a cliff, this is a cliff line. They would be standing here and they would hear everything.
Everything. Think of the spectacle. These hills are full with Israelites all over the military, Saul's military, the army in camps, many camps. David crosses this creek and onto the fields in the valley to face Goliath. These incredible results are not something we expected to see when we first set out on this journey.
This was the coolest thing ever. You being down there and hearing you. This was awesome.
Every detail in the story of David and Goliath is proving to be possible. But these events are much more than just about their battle. The account of David and Goliath has an incredible picture.
Yeah.
It is so cool. If we look at the outline of the story, an unbelievable picture starts to form. Goliath threatens the freedom of the Israelites and no one is found worthy to fight him. Except David, a shepherd, who comes down from Bethlehem to feed his brothers, but his brothers ridiculed him. But despite the disbelief and rejection, David kills the giant and provides freedom to Israel. And here's the incredible part. Goliath's name means the exposer, and the exiler. He is the picture of Satan who exposes our weaknesses that lead us to sin and exile us from the presence of God. And just like with Goliath, there was no one found who could set us free from Satan. Until a Savior was born in Bethlehem, who came down to his own people, but they despised and rejected him. Yet, regardless of the disbelief and rejection, he faced death and defeated it, providing freedom from sin for all who believe.
There is a series of sermons that Charlie Garrett has been working on for 5 weeks. It is absolutely incredible. I was reading them from cover to cover without stop, all 5 in a row. I just couldn't stop. It's all about Jesus. The whole story of David and Goliath, everything that happened here was all about Jesus. It's incredible.
Every word in Hebrew and every detail in this chapter paints an incredible picture of the redemptive story of our Lord.
Well, there's just so many details that all point to Christ, like Goliath. He was wearing scales, right? He's this big giant guy with scales, and everybody's fearing him. Well, scales is like a serpent in the Genesis account, right? The serpent.
Or a dragon in
Dragon in
Revelations.
Revelations, yes. Isn't it incredible? And he's like the Satan. Everybody's afraid, and there's nobody who would come out against him. And yet, one man was found, David, who prefigures Christ. And there's just so much more.
If you're interested to find out more of these incredible details, such as why David picked up 5 stones and why after cutting off Goliath's head, he took it to Jerusalem, then we highly recommend watching the 5 sermons on David and Goliath by Pastor Charlie Garrett from the Superior Word Church.
Well, you gotta watch it. Check out the link below to start the sermons and watch them. It'll be worth your time, we promise you. This is just so incredible. I mean, did you expect seeing all this when we got here?
No, this is just amazing and confirming everything. It has been just a real treat.
When we first set out on this journey, we did not know what to expect. But now that we are here, we can see it. We can see how the Israelites camped at Sharaim. We can almost hear the voice of Goliath traveling through the valley, casting fear in the hearts of the mightiest men of Israel. And we can almost see David picking up stones from the river and approach the enemy.
So the next time we read this account in the Bible, we can imagine it in full color and better understand how God, working through David, brought about one of the greatest deliverances in the history of Israel. A deliverance that had a significance greater than any has ever imagined, that not only brought about the salvation to Israel, but it gave hope and anticipation to the one of whom the prophets have spoken about, the one who will come to redeem Israel, the Messiah, Jesus Christ.
So we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode and that it's a blessing to you. And until next time, God bless you all.
God bless.